last time out. Things were tricky, but Buddy still finished in the points. One person Buddy hadn't seen much of since the court case was his dad. But just before he headed off to Singapore, his dad gave him a phone call.
Did your race go well?
Just managed to get points because of tyres. Tyres just wouldn't last.
Well, just you wait. Soon you'll be out of F1 and wanting to go to IndyCar.
Yeah, I really will. Nice team you've got there. Now it was time for him to head to Asia for the Singapore Grand Prix. So the European season's at an end, and this is a track that Buddy had high hopes for. He's been fast around this circuit in the past. It's a street track, and it's this sort of track that he absolutely loves. And even better, now that all his penalties are out the way, he now no longer has to start near the back of the grid. The Renault showed good pace during the practice sessions, but a few mistakes on his Q2 lap meant he could not progress to the shootouts. So, it's time for the Singapore Grand Prix, held under the lights of the Marina Bay Street Circuit. It was going to be an interesting one. It's a test of endurance because the race often is quite on the edge when it comes to the 2-hour time limit. Also, it's a very hot race. Even though it's at night, it's very humid, so it really is going to put the drivers to the test. It's going to be interesting to see how Buddy is going to cope with those challenges. Qualifying did not go exactly how he planned, but he's got a good race car, so he can easily make up for that in the race. So, it was going to be interesting, but the thing is, it is a tricky track to overtake on. But taking a look at the starting grid for this race, it's Sebastian Vettel on pole position ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, who lines up in second in the Red Bull. In third, it's Kimi Raikkonen ahead of Max Verstappen in fourth for Red Bull. You have Sergio Perez in fifth and Valtteri Bottas in sixth due to a penalty. Kelvin Magnussen in seventh, Lewis Hamilton eighth due to a penalty. Alonso ninth and Ocon 10th. Simpson did still out-qualify his teammate, so Buddy starts 11th ahead of Carlos Sainz in 12th, Leclerc 13th, Ericsson 14th, Sorokin 15th, Stroll 16th, Grosjean 17th with Van Dorn, Gasly and Hartley rounding out the grid. The silver lining to not making Q3 means that Buddy has a free choice of tyres, and he picked to start on the ultra soft tyre. So he rounds the final corner and lines up on the grid.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
So, we have the lights in Singapore. Lights out and away we go. Buddy's initial launch is good, but his car appears to miss a gear heading up towards turn 1. That loses him a lot of time. Quite odd what happened, and he's lost a lot of positions. I think I missed a gear. Check that out, please. Obviously, that would be a concern for Buddy because he wants to know if there's actually an issue with the gearbox. But not the start that he needed. So as you can see, he is behind Sirotkin, heading up towards turn 8. They all, Constantine are up, and Buddy sees the opportunity and has taken the position. So Buddy is up to 14th place and is now behind his teammate Carlos Sainz. The difficulty he's having though is it's not the easiest track to overtake on, so Buddy wants a little bit of help.
Guys, please let me have a try at those two salvers. Carlos is holding me up a lot.
But Carlos had other ideas.
He has been told, he has been told.
Understandably, Buddy was starting to get really hot-headed behind his teammate.
Honestly, why can't he get past these two salvers? They're so slow. Let me have a try, I can easily pass them.
Whether Carlos was willing to or not, any kind of move would have to wait as the safety car was deployed for Kimi Räikkönen, who had retired ahead. Many cars pitted under the safety car, meaning that he was up to 8 and was right behind Ericsson as Carlos had finally made the place, and a mistake from Ericsson was the invitation that Buddy needed to take the position.
Great maneuver. You made it look easy.
Now he is right behind his teammate, and with no DRS he was very vulnerable to his teammate. He didn't initially make it, but Carlos made a mistake and that allowed Buddy through. But now moving on to lap 24, and his tyres have completely gone. And Carlos had a look, but faltered, and Buddy got the drive. With a little wheel banging, Buddy maintained the place. With a bit of force.
Come on, he hit me like 4 times there. Unacceptable.
At the end of that lap, he bailed out and pitted. He was going for a second stint on the ultra soft tyre.
Exit now.
He exited the pits behind Perez. And as Perez made a slight mistake, Buddy seized the initiative and took the position.
0.4 seconds.
Buddy was now up to 8th.
Use some of this energy.
Not much happened in that stint until his tyres started to go and he was under pressure from a couple of lapped cars. And Buddy was not happy about it.
Come on, you can't do that. That's really dirty, especially if you're a lap down. Ridiculous.
Buddy lost a lot of time as a result of this. And Verstappen was able to get through.
Okay, we've lost the position.
Now moving on, and Leclerc, who'd already made his last stop, managed to pass Buddy. This was bad for him because he was someone that he was racing at first, so he was going to drop quite a way back from him. So he comes into the pits for his final stop. This is for the Hypersoft tyre. In the hope that he can make some inroads on the cars ahead.
Go now.
The stop went to plan. he rejoined in effectively 9th place as Carlos Sainz had not had his final stop yet. Buddy pushed quite hard on these hypersofts, but he couldn't make any inroads. And he rounded the final corner to finish in 9th. Not his best race of the season, but at least he still finished in the points, meaning that he finished in the points in all but one race this season. So it's a win for Daniel Ricciardo. Another victory for him. It was not the most interesting race from Buddy's perspective compared to some other races that he's had, but he did drive well to get a couple of points in the end after his poor start, to be able to salvage that. For some reason, from qualifying onwards, Renault didn't have the pace that they'd had in practice. But Buddy continues his point scoring streak. The question was, could he maintain that as Formula 1 heads to the Sochi Autodrome, the scene of Buddy's maiden podium in Formula 1?